Okay, so if you're watching this, you've already seen the introduction video, and we're officially going to start day uno, okay? First, there's two things I want to talk about. Today, we're going to go over decluttering, and we are going to go over being in the present moment. Now, we've talked a little bit about meditation, just a little bit, just a tad, right? But I want to be clear, we're already in week 3, the goal is to be doing 10 minutes of meditation and 5 minutes of journaling every single day. So keep yourself accountable, be able to have like a little check mark per day, or maybe write it as a reminder on your phone to make sure that you do it. And this week in particular, when you hit breakdown, this is why we started the habit earlier, because we want you to already have this in place. If you already had it in place, your breakdown is going to be less there or less hurtful for you. There's going to be less negative emotions. If you haven't done it and you're like, oh snap, I just got caught, it's fine. Just start now, okay? If you want, even pause this and look for a guided meditation that calls you. You can go to YouTube, or you can just sit there. You can get near a beach, whatever works for you. There's not one way fits all. It's not a cookie cutter way. It's whatever allows you to just be here with yourself and not let your negative emotions take over, right? So one of my quickest, fastest, favorite ways to meditate is I sit down, I put on some soulful music, right? Whatever you got. And you can even listen to Beethoven or whatever calms you down. And I visualize as my way of meditation, my favorite way of meditation. I visualize myself on a little hill doing a little Om stance. I may be doing it, I may not, but I imagine it. And then I imagine a river down the hill, and the river has all of my thoughts. And whenever I think of something, it ends up in the river, and I watch it go by. And another one comes and I watch it go by. And what this allows me to do is to not get attached to a specific thought. Okay? And that's the goal here. The goal is to realize that we are not our thoughts, and that we are allowed to just watch them go by. If there's an angry, emotional attachment to a memory, then let's let that memory go by. If you're freaking out and you don't know what to do with your book, or you're stuck, you don't know what chapter to write next, or you're starting your business, you don't know what to name your business, just watch it go by, okay? And this is great practice. Some of you may be freaking out right now, but just try it, okay? And for those that have been meditating, please keep it up, okay? So that's something I want to talk about. Now, decluttering. Decluttering, the reason that we're focusing on decluttering and being in the present moment is because a lot of things that are in your area around you tend to be from your past, right? You picked it up from somewhere in your past. And some of them may spark joy. Going into the magic of tidying up here, if you haven't seen the Netflix TV show, recommended, changed my life. So did the book, but for those that like Netflix, I recommend watching this around this time frame, because you want to keep things only that spark joy. And if things aren't taking up, like if your desk right now where your laptop or computer is, you're looking around and you're like, oh my God, there's so many things on this table right now that you haven't used recently, like I mean in the last few days, then I recommend either putting it away somewhere or throwing it out or even selling it to someone, okay? So we're gonna be focusing on decluttering. So I'm gonna try to share my screen for a second. I'm gonna show you different ways to declutter. Now, what I just mentioned was a way to declutter your space. There's different ways to declutter. And this is so we get no distractions, no nonsense around us, and we're gonna be making space for our new idea to come up, okay? Now, I'll give you a quick example that's not on here yet. I recommend, and we'll talk about this more in the future, but I recommend having an idea hour. Now, your idea hour is making space with your time, decluttering your time so that every single day or 1, 2, 3 times a week, whatever works for your schedule, create just 1 hour of that day, week, month where you're going to be working on your idea hour, on your specific idea. And even if you have a new idea after you've finished your first idea, that idea hour is perfect to keep it consistently. It's about having a type of ritual that you keep consistently, and that's a way to declutter. And when that time hits, when that specific ringtone, I recommend having different ringtones for different schedules. For example, my idea hour has like a little Pikachu going on, okay? And it just reminds me, it sparks a joy. Get it? Sparks. Pikachu is about lightning. It sparks joy in me, And it allows me to remember, oh, it's idea time. Time to drop everything and get to it, okay? So we're going to train ourselves now to get into that. That's a way to declutter your mind. Now, other ways, and I mentioned this earlier, is to single task. We tend to be multitaskers, especially as women. But I recommend focusing on one thing at a time. So for example, I'm doing this video right now. I'm not trying to cook and do this video right now. I'm not listening to an audio and doing this video right now. I'm not checking my phone and doing this video right now. I'm just doing this video. So when you're doing this course, for example, I recommend practicing single tasking. I recommend turn off anything else, whatever it is, just focus on this course for X amount of time, how much time you gave yourself, okay? Don't be driving and doing this course. You can, but single tasking is the key here. Now, we did talk about journaling and meditating a few minutes ago, and I gave you those tasks in the first week, even before the first week beginning, because that is a way to declutter your mind, and that one tends to be the hardest one. Okay. Now, I also mentioned earlier at some point, and if not, I will re-put it in this PDF. Continue your I feel blank that I am now blank intentions daily by affirming it. I normally put Post-it notes up. Oh, I put them down recently because I need to make new ones. But I normally have Post-it notes up all over the place that say, I feel blank that I am now blank. So for example, you want I feel the first blank to be an emotion that you love. And it doesn't have to be something like, I feel awesome, I feel happy. Pick something that really makes you move, right? For me, I feel serene, I feel peaceful, I feel ecstatic. Those are words that catch my attention, but you get to pick your own emotions that you want to feel when you finish your idea. So I feel peaceful that I am now finishing this course 100%, all work complete, okay? So figure out some type of intention that you want, and I will definitely put that PDF in here. I don't think I did yet, so I'll add that in here. And you want to be able to put those Post-it notes up everywhere, in your car, on your refrigerator, in the bathroom, right in front of your computer, on your computer if necessary, to remind you that that's where you're heading. And you're affirming to life that that's where you want to be. Okay, so I feel ecstatic that I am now a published author. Okay, I feel extremely happy that I am now the owner of my own business. Okay, pick something and go for it. Now, decluttering your heart. One thing that I'm huge in, and anyone that has been a part of the book club from the get-go, the first book I ever chose was The Integrity Advantage by Kelly Casso, because I am huge in integrity. It's about being clear and truthful with your word. Now, this means if someone asks you, do I look fat in this? You don't say yes. You want to be truthful but kind at the same time. So I call it, oh my God, I forgot what I call it. I called it something like my dad used to tell me that I'm honest to a fault. And I used to say that I'm honest to a blessing. There you go. So I'm honest to a blessing. So if someone says, I look fat in this, she's like, I think I like the other pants more. Still truthful, still clear. They kind of got the point, but you said it in a nice way, okay? Any lies that need to be cleared up. Now, anything, even the tiny lies like, yeah, I totally like coffee or whatever, bacon, I don't know, something that most people like and you went off one day and you said that you liked it, but you kind of don't. It's time to be truthful. For those big lies, if you cheated on someone, whatever it is, maybe they still don't know about it, it's time to get that off your chest too, okay? And those things take up room. You need to realize that those lies, those broken promises, oh yeah, I promise I'll bring your book back, and you never did. Whatever it is, start handling those, because your heart only has so much space. And if you're putting in space and imagine your heart has different rooms, okay? It only has so much space. Let's say it has 10 rooms. One room is filled with lies and broken promises. How are you going to be able to move forward and really get your idea out there, or even continue your life forward, right? If you have all your rooms filled, it's time in your heart or in your mind, it's time to start decluttering them, okay? Anything hidden or secret that is ready to be told. Now, this is for you to say, not me, but if something popped up when I said that, it's time for you to get it out, okay? Whether you want to or not, there may be consequences or not, and it's up to you to share with the group or not. But I recommend if something's calling you to say it, then say it. Any thank yous that need to be made. Every time I go back to this question, I think about my parents and how much I need to thank them every single day for dealing with me as a teenager and as a kid and buying me all my books and taking me all the places and all that stuff. So depends on you, whatever makes you feel comfortable, but go ahead and say thank you to anyone in your life that pops up in your head. And these questions are journalable, right? Maybe you ended up, maybe it's time to take out a hidden secret, hidden or a secret that's in your head. Maybe you don't want to tell somebody. Well, write it down. Journaling is also a way to declutter your mind and your heart, right? So get that out there. And focus on opening your heart with a head-to-heart meditation. Now, you girls should know already, I'm huge on just putting your hand on your heart and breathing. That every single time that I take just 3 inhales and exhales, put my hand on my heart and listen to my own heartbeat, everything just seems to calm down and I automatically feel better. You can hear it in my voice. So try doing that. I know I also taught you the calm palm, right? Going through it. So be able to go through these little things that are going to be able to help you clear your mind, be peaceful, and open up your heart. Now, decluttering your space. Decluttering your space is a fun one. So a small tidbit, I think it's in here, one of these little things at some point. I have one area, one drawer, I want to say, where I have nothing in it. Nothing. Mind you, I do have that drawer that has everything in it. And I work all the time on decluttering that one. But I do have one that just reminds me that I can keep things open for something that comes up in my life in the future. Maybe it's that idea. Maybe you want to, every single month or every single time you have a new idea, you fill up things for that one drawer for that. You get to decide, right? So a simple thing like making your bed in the morning is a way that you automatically, I have my little to-do list, right? Or I end up putting it in my calendar, and my first thing is making my bed. Check mark. And it's the first check mark of each day. And it reminds me that things could be easy and bring ease into my life, that these little check marks don't have to be hard every single day. So it's just something to remind you, and I'm sure you know about the EEE test already. Do me a favor, and when you're making your bed, make it ease, energy, and enjoyment. And if it doesn't pass the EEE test, then do me a favor and make it EEE. Bring something that does pass the ease, energy, and enjoyment test into making your bed, okay? Clear out your closets and drawers. Closets, ladies. I recently went through this and I had a moment of, no, I don't wanna. Like, I had the whole thing, okay? All you have to do is hold each piece of clothing that's in your room and truly ask yourself, have I first worn this in the last year? And if I have, does it bring joy into my life? A lot of the times I ended up saying no. I didn't like wearing this the last few times. I've tried it with a few different things. I haven't really liked it. So now I gave it away. Okay. And same thing with your drawers, whatever is in your drawers, your pants. Maybe you have some underwear. Maybe you have some stained underwear and it doesn't bring joy in your life. Take them out, buy new underwear now. Okay. Small things like that. If you have a sock that has a hole in it, maybe it's time to get rid of it and get new socks, right? You want to bring new things into your life that have good energies, and you want to get rid of things that don't, okay? What can you get rid of in your office / desk / computer area? Okay, office, desk, and computer area, like I mentioned, about your laptop or your computer, wherever you are, office desks, especially for women, for whatever reason, tend to be messy. I have 2 things on here at the moment that I can put away. 4 things right now that I could put away at the moment. So I'm going to go ahead and do that at the end of this, okay? And the reason that you want to keep putting things away is to remind yourself that that's not necessary at the moment and keep your mind clear on the task, right? It's kind of like if you have your phone near you and you're working on something and you're writing away and someone calls you, it's going to be hard to not answer. And if you don't answer, you're probably still going to be thinking about what they needed. So put your phone away, turn it off, put it away from your desk, right? That's something simple to do. Clean out your car and add that new car smell to it, okay? That new car smell, on average, brings people a lot of happiness, right? So that new car smell actually doesn't have to be, it's just new cars. You can go to Walmart and there's a new car smell. So go ahead and get that if needed. My car hasn't been cleaned in a while, so keeping my own integrity, I plan on cleaning my car soon, so I can really go ahead and do that and be in integrity with you girls as well. Get a plant that is made to clean out the air, okay? I am totally blanking out on the names of the plants right now, but you can definitely Google some plants that clean out the air and just add a plant to your room. Now, maybe not to your room because it's not feng shui, if you know about feng shui, but you can put it into your living room or put it in the front of your door, whatever makes you comfortable, but just to add more oxygen into your life, because oxygen is obviously necessary, okay? Get a sage stick and get rid of all negative energy. Now, there's different ways to handle this, and I have to write a little note to myself to send you girls the home detox. So give me a second so I can add that in here. Home detox. Okay, so I need to send you girls a way that, yes, you can get sage sticks, and sage sticks, you burn them, you walk around the house with them, and you just have a good affirmation. So it could even be that I feel blank, but I am now blank, or just saying things that remind you of joy, putting on music that gets you dancing, and just walking around that sage stick is perfectly fine. Another thing that you could do is you can end up getting actual oranges, peeling the orange and putting it in a water and putting it in the middle of the room, right? And literally peeling the orange and putting it in water in the middle of the room will allow that orange smell, which is known for cleansing and purifying, to go around the room. And you could use, if you want, even the orange, like the juice, the orange juice, you can just get a small bit of it and put it on your walls just so it can continue to cleanse and purify as a little extra step there for you girls if you want to. Have one area, bookshelf, or drawer that is completely empty. So I talked about that one already, so check mark. Okay. I also created this little checklist for you girls. Now, I would appreciate, and this is up to you, but I highly recommend that you work on this, not just now, but throughout the next few weeks, all the way until the end, and you really focus on finding it possible if you can check all these off before the end of the 8 weeks. I don't want to add more to your plate. My goal is to take off from your plate from the decluttering, but if people that tend to do this checklist, what tends to happen, and I do it a few times a year, I do it like 3 or 4 times a year, just triple checking that I'm all good to go. Like, for example, I don't go to the dentist until I get to this checklist again every year. It's just a thing for me, but you get to decide on how you want to use this. And it's little things like complete any undelivered communications, anything hidden or held secret that needs to be communicated. We talked about that one. Acknowledges, gratefulness, or thank yous to be given. We talked about that one. Make your bed in the morning. We talked about that one. Journal, meditating, cleaning and organizing your living space. These are all things that we started to talk about. There may be a few new ones like organizing financial records neatly, family and friend situations, making sure that you resolve any broken agreements or miscommunications. All of these remind you of what was up here and allows you to check them off so that you can have a little bit of fun in them, okay? Now, I also have these 2 journal prompts, like always, that I always like giving you girls, just to keep you going in the right direction. What are 5 things in your life you wish you could let go of or give to someone else to handle? Now, this was all about the mind, heart, and space. This is really starting to talk about your work life, anything in your life that you don't want to handle. Like, for example, groceries was on this list for me. I really don't appreciate having to leave the house to get groceries, to come upstairs. I live on the 7th floor. It's not fun. So consider 5 things you would do when you create more time. The first question, when I did the groceries thing, I ended up looking up different Instacarts or Postmates or DoorDash, and I ended up using Prime Now. I am an Amazon Prime member, and now I have all my food delivered to my house, as well as ButcherBox that I use for meat. So I use ButcherBox for the meat because it has the best meat possible with pasture raised and grass fed and everything. And then I get most of my other food from Amazon Prime, and that comes from Whole Foods. So instead of me having to drive 30 minutes to Whole Foods, get a bunch of food, drive back, and it be kind of not as cold as it should be, now someone else does it for me, and it takes up a lot less time. So that's just an example of what you can add in here. It could even be like Maybe you're not a fan of doing email marketing. Well, you don't have to. Maybe you're afraid of doing the editing for your book or the cover for your book. You don't have to. Now you can end up delegating it to somebody else or finding a different way to handle it. It doesn't have to be someone in your family. It could be someone outside of it, okay? And for those that are like, ooh, she mentioned virtual assistants or delegating, how does that work? You can get really cheap ones from, you can go to Fiverr as an example, or something mom, hiremymom.com, I think it is. And there's all these websites you can go to. YMA is another one. And you hire people from like Thailand and things like that, India even, and they may not have the best English, but you can specifically ask for good English speakers and really work with them. All you may have to do is the grammar check versus all the other things, okay? And then after you make up this time, and again, time is really important, and we want to make sure that you can do, 1 hour, at least I would say twice a week for your idea hour. I want you to consider 5 things you would do when you create more time, such as that idea hour. Maybe adding more self-love time, or doing things that you really love, or things that you've been wanting to try for a while, okay? So we talked a little bit about meditation, getting into the present moment. We talked about decluttering your mind, heart, space, and even your time, okay? This is everything that we're going to go through for the first day of week 3 when it comes to breakdown. And don't worry, my girls that are super freaking out about breakdown, get ready. I'm going to get really into it in the next 2 days, but this was just a starting point to start decluttering. Even if you're like in total breakdown mode and you don't want to do anything and you were hoping for some, keep going, but start the decluttering before you keep going to day 2 and day 3. You want to try to finish the soul work sometimes beforehand. Sometimes you can watch all 3 videos and do the soul work right afterwards, but I recommend this time, finish this video, do the soul work, even start just 1 check mark from that declutter checklist. You're going to see what a big difference it makes in the long run, okay? I love you girls. Bye.